It's an interesting conversation so
this
far.
This morning, we're giving them an update. I'm sure you, because Dano has been making the airwaves all through since last weekend into this week. And of course, we told you here about one side of the story from the promoter. Well, there's been a development, and apparently the producer or the promoter has had some things to say. Because Daniel actually gave an apology in a mini press conference per se, and he didn't really touch on anything. He just said, okay, that he's sorry, and there's going to be a concert today. And, But then there's quite a lot now. The promoter comes in on another interview with Kizz Daniel's brother, who's part of his team in Tanzania there. And then they go on like they had agreed to postpone the concert due to logistic issues or some issues, whatever. And they had agreed. And then it seems like that wasn't, passed across to the crowd or
the people that
were already there.
Yeah.
People were there and then they were expecting to see Kizz Daniel. I don't know, maybe they wanted him to perform, but they had agreed that they would postpone it. So what is happening? Because even now, I still feel like some details are still not being measured. Because the way they pushed that guy into that van was not cool. You understand? It wasn't cool. And if you look at it, the aggression, the way the guy was talking, was agitated. Like you'll see something. No, it was very, 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 very vindictive in some way.
So it's really, especially when people are in the public eye, artists, celebrities, they often end up getting the short end of the stick of things whenever things go wrong. Especially if, for instance, they've had some kind of history in a certain area. So there have been occurrences of him postponing events before, cancelling on events before, which is why it was sort of easy for people to just say, not again. But, it's just really sad that sometimes the one that they call you out for is the one you actually did not do wrong.
That's the guy, the boy who cried wolf.
Exactly.
That's the scenario.
Exactly. But then promoters as well need to also be held accountable, because in the end, it would have been the promoters that would have collected the money for the tickets. They are the ones that the fans bought the tickets from, so they should also take some responsibility for it. Why didn't they, cry out when the whole arrest or being called in for questioning by police was happening? Why didn't they step in immediately? Why did they let it get that far before?
I think for me, I was going to come from that angle as well. Why was it so easy for everyone to absorb it? Obviously, because of the situations that have happened with Kizz Daniel. I mean, even in past months, and all of that's him literally being late for several gigs and everything. So that's why, like, even if something like this happens, people will not even think of the possibility of it not being true. Even some people now still don't believe that is true. Do you understand? But then again, of course, promoters would like to absorb themselves the responsibility as much as they can. And of course, like, we don't know, we the audience don't know what's happening behind the scenes. All we know is that we paid for this guy. This is the guy we're coming to see. You don't understand that those guys are also paid to come and perform. So we also need to understand that, behind there's a lot of paper, print work, between the lines and all of that. And of course, if you're a promoter, you have an event, it's not happening, communicate properly, effectively to your crowd. Don't drag people there and then the end. Because, I mean, this actually does a lot talk about his reputation going forward. That damage his reputation, and hopefully
I'm trying to think about international events at the O2 Arena or at Wembley Stadium, or how they do it in the US. They'll go to the Staples Center, big crowds. Imagine.
You know why he won't try it there? You know why he can't try it there? They're not born and well. They're not born. Even the people who start around well. Why? If you hire O2, you're not hiring it for the day. If you hire O2, they'll tell you it is 9 to 11.
Yes, so.
At 11.
They off their lights.
Straight. See, if you say they switch off their light, that means they're polite. They will off it. I saw this video. There was a video I saw yesterday. It was an online comedian. I didn't watch the whole video yet, but I just saw the start. It was, he said something, he said, okay, he was in France, I said, come, show this camera, look where I did. He was pigeon. And then the camera panned and looked around, and I was like, this place did this air too. No be heavily day. Now people use their brain make come. You see, when things are organized, when you're in a society, someone said that if your house is clean, if you have a very clean house, and somebody is dirty and comes to the house, the person will do all they can to ensure that they don't. If the person has sense,
even far.
Even
if you watch Nigerians that misbehave here and jump queue here, watch them international.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Calm.
You see,
they're so polite.
But some of us have friends that don't have sense. That your house will be clean, they will still come and dirty. We're not talking about those ones that don't have sense. We're talking about the normal ones.
Yeah.
What I was saying is that, look, when a society, when you get an environment that works, you find out that the populace will conform to the norm. That is what happens. And so, in that scenario now, if that's why you have an event at a cool hotel or something, and then an artist is supposed to come by 9 o'clock at the concert. In fact, they tell you 7 o'clock, red carpet 6 o'clock. That is coming out by 3 a.m.
It's just.
If someone was telling me last time, I think it was this particular concert, 3 a.m. You know. That's when you're coming out. It wouldn't happen. When that guy goes to O2, 9 o'clock, 8:59, he's off stage. He's already coming out from the ground. Exactly. So you have to understand. Look, I think it is a case of we here having to get organized, creating an environment that works.
You have, I'm not trying to compare a Kizz Daniel to a Beyonce, but you have like a Beyonce's management team who will go ahead of you, give a white paper of everything that's supposed to happen by the time she lands and her movement, and they're moving her into position.
They make emphasis on
everything.
The detail.
If the flowers are not white enough, Beyonce is not coming into that hotel room.
And I think that's something that also came to mind was a video I actually watched. The guy was actually slamming Kizz Daniel, but then again, not necessarily directly slamming him. He actually gave instances of other artists like Idris Abdulkarim and Gandoki, who's a comedian, who literally destroyed their careers. That's what, like in his words, because of behaviors like that. Do you understand?
There are plenty now.
Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot.
I mean, if you want to go names, you can call names. But like you said, at the end, if you think about it, that your reputation, look, see, it's a small thing. Let me just to digress a bit. I mean, one day there's a footballer, Erling Haaland. He missed a sitter, an open post, and everybody was like, oh, he will fail the EPL. The next week, he scored 2 goals. I'm like, oh, you're the best of all time. You see, they always tell us, even in media, you're as good as your last performance.
Very true.
You understand? So that really has to come into your brain. But then, there are sometimes when you get so big, there's some leverage or some leeway that will be given.
Yeah.
When you consistently
yes, of course, that's where the problem happens.
When you small.
However, I feel even when the bigger you get, the more disciplined you should be. That's honestly the way I see it.
It should be that way.
I blame his team. And I say it this way because their livelihoods are tied to his brand remaining in positive light.
True, but some people cannot be controlled by their livelihood.
You can't see their livelihood.
Okay, but you understand what I'm saying? No, but seriously, if Beyonce's team, their livelihood is tied to Beyonce looking good. That's the truth. If Beyonce starts to dip, but then again,
if she actually refuses to behave, there's almost nothing to do about it.
A good manager will make that artist behave.
No, you can't. To stop it now. You're in this industry.
They'll talk about begging. They'll talk about you can't say that livelihood. Nah, that's a bit too far.
Okay, I hear you.
I want to say something here.
Guess what?
On management,
if you don't put things in place for your talent to look in the best light, you have not done your job.
There's as much as you can do.
My point is that no matter how much things you put in place, if the talent refuses to mess up, there's honestly nothing you can do.
If they just stay from village and press the red button.
I want to use someone, but I won't call the name of that, got disqualified recently. Every other thing worked out. Are you joking? Her packaging was 100%.
Exactly.
But so you can't say it's your team member.
Beauty, big brother. Yes. Yes.
I not call Nemo.
Yes, because she's a beauty queen like you also. See, 2 beauty queens. But you enter inside this you see, they remove that wire.
Wow.
Anyways, that's it. Basically, you have a responsibility, I think, and like Titi said, whichever way, at the end, the artist's name is somehow dented, even if the promoter was all that. But let's hear what you think about the situation. Hit us up at TVC Connect. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.